Hi Sag, this is your homework family reading for all Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs in Sagittarius for the second half of June, June 15th through the 30th. Now, hold on. I've been hitting the bell a lot more during this set of readings than the candle and the light. It just brings in a higher vibrational frequency with like a purification, and I've kind of needed it to sift through the energies that I'm picking up on a little bit more of a stronger basis. So even though before I started the reading I already asked Spirit who I was going to be reading for, and I already started picking up energies for you all, I just wanted to make sure that I'm keeping it as clean as possible with the energy before I started giving any of it to you. Now, first off, I'm being told you need to be grounded. Some of you just need to be grounded better. Some of you aren't grounded at all. But some of you, like I said, you need to be grounded. Some of you are grounded and you need to be grounded better. And some of you are not grounded at all, is what I'm being told. And I feel like you are going through some kind of balancing of your masculine and your feminine energies, especially within your third eye and your crown energies, which is, getting into your imagination, your vision, your wisdom, your self-knowing, your self-awareness, and your spirituality, how you've come to calmness, and how you come to inner peace within self. And I feel like you're really working on a balancing, and a little bit of a tug of a war is going on with you at this time. This is what I'm feeling. As well as some of you are going through, I don't want to say a depression. I feel like you're coming more back into yourself and into your power. But I feel like you're coming into yourself and into your power in a different way than usual. I am being told right now, yeah, some of this is definitely dealing with your third eye. But I have a feeling, I just called it your third heart. So this is also dealing with coming from, hi kitty, from the heart chakra. Might be a problem you're having balancing the masculine and feminine energy in your third eye and your crown, which is your self-knowing, your awareness, your spirituality, your imagination, vision, wisdom, with the heart, trust, love, and empathy. You might be having a little bit of trouble completely balancing it. Because the reason I'm saying, I don't want to say depressed, but I feel like you're overcoming or starting to work through some energies that you had been holding on to of rejection or helplessness, where you felt helpless in a situation or you felt rejected in a situation. And I feel like, you're starting to heal from it, you're starting to overcome it of some form, but there's this tug of war of masculine, feminine going on as to where you truly are finding your inner calm, your inner peace, and what the truth is that's going on with that. And I think that's part of why Spirit's telling me right off the bat that this has to be, you have to be very grounded at this time. I am getting a lot of physical and spiritual growth going on, but I am being told and definitely spiritual growth is going on. But you are definitely, actually, I'm getting a lot of masculine and feminine energies, but I'm being pulled more towards the masculine, which is taking action. Taking action, I guess, maybe it's walking your talk a little bit better. And what I mean is, if you're coming into your spiritual growth more, but we're talking about masculine energy, it's trusting in that spiritual growth, trusting in that knowledge, trusting in practicing what you preach. Not that you don't, but I feel like you're coming into a level of a much higher level of understanding what all of this means to you in your life. I'm also being told some of it is just finding a new level of joy, a new level of spirituality, a new level of enthusiasm. Like I said, I feel like it's reawakening something in you with a healing in some way. It's a very good positive thing, but it feels like it's been coming from it feels like it's a positive growth that's maturing, but coming from a place that felt numb. Like a place that you wanted to turn off. Like I said, it feels like it was coming out of from a place that you're healing that was of rejection or of feeling helplessness or maybe even being afraid. But I feel like it's something that's healing and it's moving up, and it's a communication that you're having within yourself as you're starting to heal. And while you do that, it's actually going to be starting to heal your belief in your sacral, not your sacral, in your solar plexus. So it's starting to change that energy of thriving, of feeling in your power, coming into your self-esteem a little bit stronger, believing in yourself a little bit stronger, believing in, I can do this, I can create this, I can be what I want to be. I feel like you're completely flipping over, coming from a place that had been numb for a very long time. And at the same time, my heart is very much beating very fast. It's very, like, palpitating. It's very riveted. Like I said, it's very riveted as you feel like you're coming into a new level of finding yourself, finding you. But it's not finding you. I think it's reclaiming. Reclaiming what you lost. Like I said, I feel like it's coming from a numbness that had been numb for quite a while. Helplessness, or rejection, or being afraid of something that was keeping you from moving forward. But I feel like it's moving into a very illuminating energy. So it's a positive thing, most definitely. And it is, like I said, and it's definitely because what I'm feeling, and I keep doing this because the way the Spirit talks to me is they're more or less like just feel like they're lifting this energy off. I feel like you're also coming, you know how you have the people, as a medium, I come into what I call your should haves. I should have done this. I could have done that. What if I had done this? I wish I would have, shoulda, I shoulda. Your shoulda, coulda, wouldas. And I feel like Spirit is putting just enough energy on my shoulders to make me say, because I feel like they're putting just enough energy on my shoulders and then removing it to going, like, you're coming out of that. You're coming away from the I coulda, shoulda, woulda. You're finally starting to believe and find healing and forgiveness for yourself. Forget them. But, find healing, forgiveness, and power within yourself again, so that, like, the coulda, shoulda, wouldas aren't bothering you like maybe they had before. I don't know how else to put that. Okay, now, we all have a full moon taking place in Capricorn on the 17th. Now, it's a void, of course, from Sag into Capricorn. So your energy is still going to be in that full moon. And I'm going to go over where it is for you in the astrology and everything in just a moment, but I'm going to tell you the main hitting subjects that are shifting right now. You have Jura, however you really pronounce it, which is sacrificing commitment. It is moving out of Cancer and moving into Leo on the 20th. Mercury is also moving out of Cancer and into Leo, but on the 26th. Now, I've been talking about this left and right. If you follow me at all, then you've been hearing about it. Neptune is going retrograde on the 21st. Sun also moves into Cancer on the 21st. But here's the first kicker I want to talk about. Because Mars doesn't actually move until July. But Mars, Mercury, and Jura are still within 10 degrees of each other. So even though they're crossing like a week apart, all three of them, the energy is like a big ball of energy that's moving across. Okay? And this means your inner warrior, your inner SWAT team, your inner sexuality, your inner sexual energy, your inner passion, action, aggression, fire. All of that energy is moving with Mercury's communication and sacrifice and commitment of Jura. So it is all moving the last, from the 20th when Jura moves, the 26th when Mercury moves, but Mars is still coming with it. So even though it's going out of Cancer and it's going into Leo, this energy is moving together, even though they're slightly apart and they're, a few weeks apart, all three of them. That energy is going to be moving together as you approach the end of June. Now, for you, let me pull up. For you, that is taking place that's going from your 8th house and into your 9th house. So, well, that makes a little bit more sense now. This means that passion, action, aggression, sexual energy, sacrificing commitment, and communication is coming out of your relationship zone of what the responsibilities are. Most of what's going on for you in your chart is from your 1st through your 8th house. But I'll go back for that in just a second. Your relationship zone, where your responsibilities are, it's dealing with whatever you have as relationships. But what are the rules within those relationships? What are the responsibilities within the relationships? What are the joint efforts, the joint finances, the joint resources? You're reevaluating the relationships and what the rules and responsibilities are within them. And that's your passion, your action, your sexual energy, which makes you feel good about yourself, not just sexually. Sexuality and sexual energy is not just about sex. It can be, but it's about how you feel about yourself, how you're coming into, when you look in the mirror and you're happy with yourself, that's having a good sexual feeling about yourself. You feel good about who you are. You have a pep in your step when your sexuality is in a little bit a healthier place. And that's what I really feel like this is coming into. You're starting to feel like you're coming into a healthier place within the rules and the responsibilities, the joint efforts, the joint resources, the joint responsibilities, and all of that within these relationships. Now, the thing is, relationships are any and everything you care about. I mean, you have a relationship with your friends, your family, your loved ones, your children, your grandparents, but you also have a relationship with the people who you don't like, for one, because relationships are also open enemies, but you also have a relationship with, your working environment, your peers, you have a relationship with your money. When you have no money, you know all about that relationship with the lack of money. If you have no car, you know all about your relationship with no car. Any and everything you care about, you have a relationship with. So you're really evaluating, like I said, what are the rules within the relationships in general? What are the rules here? What are the responsibilities? And are the rules and the responsibilities fair? I feel like you're coming into where you're starting to feel comfortable with this a little bit more. And you'll probably have been feeling or working on this feeling and coming into this conclusion all the way through the month of June. And as it leaves June, into the last week or so, those three planets more or less are coming out of that relationship zone and moving into your spiritual house. This is why it makes so much more sense, because you're balancing. I feel like you're balancing your masculine and your masculine and your feminine, your action and your creativity, your logic, like I said, in your creativity, and your spiritual energy versus logic, really is what it comes down to. I feel like you're balancing these within your relationship's responsibilities. You're starting to come into terms with what you're comfortable with, being comfortable with you. But as you're doing this, these energies are also moving into your spiritual house, which happens to be for you, Leo, I believe. Let me pull that back up. Yeah, they're moving into Leo. So for you, this is where your morals are, your spiritual urges are, your dreaming, it's your morals, your spiritual urges, it is your psychic energy, it's your philosophy, it is your higher learning, it is your, like I said, your psychic energies, it's your rituals, your ethics, your religion. And in Leo is very much, I call Leo the king of the jungle. And as a king has to be responsible to his kingdom. So you're coming into a new level of finding that sacrifice and commitment, that sexual energy. And what I mean in this case, when we're coming into this ninth house for you, this is your morals, your ethics, your spiritual urges, your spiritual beliefs, your philosophy, your psychic energy, all of this, your higher abundance, the higher brain, getting closer to the higher self, the higher truths. And you're coming into it with Mars energy, with sacrifice and commitment from Jura, with communication. So you're starting to come into a better place within the relationships, but you're going to come into an even better place within yourself here as you approach July. And this energy starts to actually build in July. I feel like you're going to really find a new spiritual self coming in, a higher evolved self coming in to you, and a spiritual growth within that, and really starting to feel and trust within it again. I really feel like you're getting your power back. I mean, and you're ruled by Jupiter, and it's in retrograde, so it's definitely fits. It fits that it's feeling that way for you, because, I mean, you're Sagittarius. For you, that's your universal first house. Jupiter being here is speaking to you of your self-awareness. It's speaking to you of your physical body, of your personality, your appearance, your view of life, how you identify with things. What is your identity to yourself, and what is your image? So Jupiter is bringing a higher knowledge of abundance and helping you to understand you on a new level, and bringing that abundance and strength and higher knowledge to you. But then it's going also into that universal ninth house, which is where it rolls, even though in this case it's in Leo. So it's you're double building your fire with some new strength. You're back building so that you can start to, explode out and be all the glorious thing that you are. Basically, is what I feel. It's like it's back building with a whole lot of, and then it's going to send its fire forward. And I feel like you're coming closer to breaking free, is what I feel. I feel like you've been working hard at whatever it is you've been working hard at. And I feel like you're coming closer to breaking free. And I really want to tell you, don't give up now. But they say keep working the steps you've been working, at working towards, the healing of yourself, the higher knowledge of yourself, the spiritual evolution that you're going through, coming into a higher level of learning. I mean, I call Sagittarius Indiana Jones versus Tomb Raider. I'm like, you guys want to know everything, you're curious, you want to experience it, but as soon as you do, you're already bored and ready off to another thing that you want to learn and experience, and it's like, now. You're like, okay, I want to go, and let's go here, and we'll do this, and we'll try that, and okay, I've done learned that, and this, and this, and this, and I've done that, and you just don't stop, and I feel like somewhere inside of all of that fast movement, some have lost some parts of you on the way, and you're reclaiming them. It's really what I feel like all of this is coming down to, is actually getting to that reclaiming back. Now, the full moon on the 17th is going to take place in Cancer. For you, this is your second house. This is speaking to your self-worth, your self-value, your self-esteem. So, but here's the kicker. That self-worth, that self-value, and that self-esteem, that moon on the 17th, the full moon, is coming out of Sagittarius, so it's coming out of your self-awareness into your self-value, self-esteem, self-worth, as well as how you create and spend your money, your small possessions. But it's coming close to rules, walls, and boundaries. You are shifting the rules, the walls, the boundaries, the limitations. You're learning to teach yourself who yourself is, by realizing what the proper withholdings are for creating and understanding yourself better in that self-worth, self-value, and self-esteem. So you're coming into a new level of spiritual awareness of who and what that is to you. But it is fighting those responsibilities within those relationships. And it's going to continue to do it for the whole rest of the month. But it's going to continue to do it for a while anyway, because Saturn is a small moving planet. I mean, it's a big planet. It's a small, slow moving planet. And it is straight across from this energy of Mars, Mercury, and Jura. But they are moving out of the opposition. So you've been having to fight for these rules. Fight for these, you've been having to fight really hard within what the rules are, within the responsibilities of the relationships, the rules, the responsibilities of the relationships, the joint efforts, the joint resources, the joint finances, anything that's joint. It's a transformation of healing that is taking place in that relationship zone. You're learning how to create these relationships and their roles within your life and their responsibilities on a whole new level. It's not like you had created them wrong before, but what you had done before doesn't suit you anymore. It doesn't serve you anymore. So they have to have new rules, walls, and boundaries so that it supports your self-worth, your self-value, your self-esteem. And you may be having to get rid of people within, these relationships. Maybe these relationships, some of them are ones that are no good anymore. They don't serve you, and that might be part of the rules within the relationship, having the relationship or not. So you've been definitely feeling that, but I'm telling you, on that full moon, you're definitely going to feel it. On the 17th, that full moon is going to bring the attention to what is not serving you soulfully for your self-worth, your self-value, your self-esteem. And it's going to be pointing at where those relationships, roles, and responsibilities are lacking or aren't serving you anymore. It's going to be bringing its attention to you. And I'm telling you right now that's something that's going to help you decide how to not fix yourself, but how to in a healthy way, fix a situation so that it is a transformation of healing for you. Now, the 21st is when Neptune goes retrograde. For you, this is your universal 4th house. For you, this is your universal 4th house. Neptune, I'm sorry, it was just throwing me off. Neptune is going to go retrograde on the 21st. Now, I've been talking a whole lot about Neptune, but until the 21st, Neptune's in shadow. So, it's going to be looking at darker aspects, but trying to make healing and changes after it goes retrograde on the 21st. Prior to that, it's just picking the shit out of them. That's why it's in shadow. Neptune is where fantasy smacks you in the face with harsh reality. It's illusion. It's delusion. It's nostalgia. It's fantasy versus, like I said, reality. It's what you hope for, but what really is true. And where is that delusional? More or less. Where did it become a fantasy that's not something you can create? Versus how can you breathe that into life and actually make it tangible? This is what our magic is. Our magic is how do you know when it's delusional and it's not possible because you're on the wrong side of Neptune, or you're in the past because Neptune also deals with nostalgia. And in your 4th house, that's the home. This is what you were as a child, where you came from as a child. But it's family, land, it's personal foundations, it's your roots. But it's also your inner emotional security. It is your karmic lessons, your past lives. But it's also the real you. It's the reincarnation of you finding you. But then is also home. Okay? I mean, so it does deal with all of those situations. But that's why when I say all the time, you can't get away from this. So we're talking about Neptune going retrograde in the roots of who and what you are. So your inner self, truth, is about to start shifting. You've been picking apart yourself, and it explains why I was being told that I was feeling, restlessness too is part of what I was feeling, but rejection or helplessness, because Neptune's been in shadow in your 4th house, which is in you in general. So it's, like I said, it's the roots of who and what you are. You've been picking yourself apart. You've really been picking yourself apart in this case, because Lilith is here. Now, Lilith is the sexual erotic temptress, okay? And she has the power to help you come into believing in yourself and into a sexual feeling about yourself and into your waters and your emotions and trusting in it. But she also has the power for self-destruction if you go too far. So this is not the best time for you to be partying in any way, shape, or form, especially from now all the way through November. But with it in shadow, it's been picking you apart about pieces of yourself and what's created you to be who and what you are. But the glorious thing about the roots of who and what we are is all of our fuck-ups is what makes us better. Because we have to learn from our fuck-ups so that we get better. So stop beating yourself up. That's really what I feel. I mean, I feel like you're coming into places where you're starting to feel good about yourself, but then you take a step backwards. It's like 2 steps forward, 3 steps backwards. 2 steps forward, 3 steps backwards is what I feel like you've been doing. And with it coming into that 4th house, going into retrograde after the 21st with Lilith in the house, this is going to help you also start to come into feeling good with who you are with your sacral chakra and your solar plexus. So I feel like you're going to get really in balance unless you're being as long as you don't self-sabotage yourself, as long as you only learn your lessons from the things that you have to teach yourself about what you don't like about yourself, or the roots that created you in one form or another that one time served you but now it don't. All it is a learning experience. As long as you don't let it get so deep into your head that you take yourself in the wrong direction, this is a healing thing that's going to bring you into a new level of understanding you on a whole new level, help you to find more confidence in who and what you are, and as you find that confidence, you're going to come into that crown energy and that third eye energy much stronger. So I feel like you're coming through a lot of really inward work, more private areas, but it is starting to deal with how you are sociable with the outer world and the relationships, so that you can actually create them to suit you in new healthy ways. Now, with that being said, okay, I didn't understand that. Yeah, they're saying this is helping you to recreate yourself and have a new or a stronger creativity within who and what you are. So, I mean, I really feel like it has to do with, like Uranus energy for you. Independence, individuality, uniqueness, freedom. But coming from rebuilding your roots. Give me 1 second. I feel like there's something I'm supposed to be saying. Well, in your first house has Jupiter in it. It is speaking with Neptune in a T-square all month, which is also speaking with Venus. So, yeah, it's a super sensitivity about recreating yourself. But I feel like, if you're believing yourself, you're starting to overcome this stuff. You're coming into a brand new thing. But it's going to have a lot to do with what the rules and responsibilities are and what you choose to change within those relationships. Set new rules, new boundaries, new walls, new responsibilities, and hold to them. Then it's going to actually work for you. And as Mars and Jera and Mercury move into Leo, it's going to get a lot even more healthier for you. But I feel like you have a lot of communication going into those relationships, or it can be there if you're choosing to use it, because let's admit it, Sagittarius, you guys kind of suck at getting back to people. You guys kind of get preoccupied and you're on the go, 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 and it's a thing that I've noticed with Aquariuses too. You guys may have think you had the conversation, but you've been so much on the go that you kind of forgot to have it. And in your mind, you did. I mean, so you may want to check in, because this may also be part of the responsibilities that you have to be responsible for. I'm just being honest. Like I said, Sagittariuses are on the go. Okay. What have I been saying the whole time? I felt like it was a balance. The very first card comes out speaking to you for the month is Judgment. And this is coming into a balance. It's a rebirth, a resurrection, a renewal. This is a completion of something. It's could be important news. It's an important change. It's a reckoning of some form. Or a crucial decision. Something is rebirthing. Something is rising from the ashes, and I believe that what's rising is you. Not necessarily a relationship, but I do feel like this is a judgment that's rising from the ashes. However, I mean, it could be a relationship, but with Neptune being in retrograde, I would really pay attention to what's happened in the past on how much you want to rebirth a relationship with Neptune in retrograde, especially when it's coming into your fourth house. And that would be all over us. I mean, you can have a relationship with Neptune in retrograde, but I'm saying if it's coming from the past and it's your universal fourth house, this is talking about the karmic roots. So if something's coming back and you let it back, you didn't learn the lesson. Is basically, if you let it back into your life and you're just doing a recycle again because you haven't learned the lesson. So, take the judgment, balance it out evenly, and learn the lesson. You're also being given the world. This is two things coming. They're two completions. Something's coming to an end. You're getting a whole new world, is what I'm being told. This is, blooming and expanding. This is harmony of the world and of spirit. This is coming into a new level of self-realization. Of understanding the individual soul. But this can also be this can be Leo, Scorpio. I'm going to learn to talk one day. Leo, Scorpio, Taurus, or Aquarius in your life with the world. So something could be changing, coming. One thing is ending, one thing is beginning. And whatever is beginning, most likely, is coming in with with a Leo, Taurus, Scorpio, or Aquarius. Man, I cannot talk. And the judgment is actually Scorpio. So you have Scorpio showing up twice. But it could be an end or a beginning, and it could be talking about them. But I feel like this is something new on a beginning for both of you. And Scorpio is also rebirth. Scorpio is the mystery of rebirth and the mystery of fertility. It is birth, death, rebirth in itself. So you have three things right there telling you this is a resurrection process. Okay, and is there anything else? Because I'm not taking that one. I feel like if that's what you really want me to take, you're just going to have to bring that one back up. Because it was on the bottom of the deck. And I wasn't prepared. And it just didn't feel like I was supposed to be taking that one. I'm talking to spirits. Anything else that Sagittarius needs to hear about, what's going on? What are they at? That's too many cards. Please, less cards. Well, that was just you being sarcastic. So that I can give a more clear information. Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. 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 You're in there, I feel you. You're just moving in weird ways. I can't find you. I am being told again this is growth, but actually the growth, it's a spiritual growth, but it's taking place in your physical world. So that's a good thing. That's coming into a different level of oneness, but I feel like you're pulling it from the higher energy down and into you, and you're actually projecting it into your physical life as you're making the changes, which would go with the world card. It really would. It's creating a whole new world. So, and that's really how it's meant to be when you really start working with spiritual energy and higher understanding and learning and spiritualness. Thank you. You also have the Nine of Pentacles. Like I said, you're all about rebirthing right now. This is the golden fields, the bloom. It is a triumphant, rejoicing beginning. It is abundance. It is riches. It is a majestic tribal leader coming into your life of one form or another. This is Venus in Virgo. So this also has to do with a Virgo, and it may possibly have a Virgo of significance. But what's her crown? It's a bird. Birds are connected to the other side. So this is connected to the other side with Venus bringing the communication forward. Venus is bringing the communication forward. This is Pentacles. So this is something brand new that is birthing or blooming. It's a triumphant new beginning, a triumphant new rejoice. It's golden fields. It's like the wish card in a form in Pentacles of being able to start building it into tangible reality. You're crossing the finish line of the old and starting to build new, more or less is what I feel like this is about. I feel like this is a very positive energy for you. I was also given the Six of Pentacles. Rising, confidence, hope, spiritual maturity. What have I been saying the whole time? Accomplishment, building, the building blocks for accomplishment, inward reflection and connection. It's one coming into the oneness and the veins of the oneness, or I call it the veins of the oneness. Some people call it the flow. Some people call it, there's all different ideas for, if you've never seen the oneness yet, then I can't explain it until you do see it. But this is coming into a higher level of understanding. This is also Taurus and the moon. But that was all about where you're at. Where's the challenge? Where's the challenge just to keep believing in themselves? Okay, you two, one of you have got to make up your mind. It's you, because before I even did the reading, I felt that I had to go get this deck. Yep. So what is the challenge Sagittarius needs to hear? What is the challenge the Sagittarius needs to hear? Two of Swords. This is speaking to you. See the green? It is your heart chakra. If you're not letting go, if you're not releasing, if you're not letting go of whatever you felt was shamed you, or grief you was holding on to, or anger you were holding on to, if you're still holding on to any of that, it is causing stale, blocked emotions. And it's keeping you from being able to be open, forgive, and take. So you need to more or less let it go and help your heart chakra heal, which will help all three of them come into a new balance. Because without it, this is the Nine of Pentacles. What was I saying? Heart, crown. Without it, the Nine of Pentacles and the Two of Swords is going to cause you to miss out on your success and your prosperity. You have got to let the stale, blocked emotions go. That is your challenge. If you're still holding